If you're constantly forgetting how to make the simplest of cocktail recipes, this episode's for you. For me, when I think of equal parts cocktails, I don't intuitively think Negroni straight away. I know many of you do, and I might be in the minority for this, but for me, the equal parts family is the 4 equal parts. The equal parts family to me is the last word, the naked and famous, the paper plane, maybe the vow of silence. And for this reason, it's worth an episode on. I think so many people are missing out on such a classic family of cocktails. The last word especially is a fantastic drink and a great entry into the wonderful world of chartreuse. So let's make the last word. So what is the last word cocktail? The last word was actually a pre-prohibition cocktail. For many, it's described as a prohibition cocktail, but there's actually records of it up to 2-3 years before the Volstead Act actually came into play. What's more strange to me is that it's took up until the modern era of bartending to see this resurgence of the last word. It's why many people outside the cocktail world will probably have never heard of it, which is a crying shame because it's a fantastic drink. Unlike some of the other recipes where I babble on, I'm not actually going to babble on today. I want to get straight into it because I love these cocktails. You'll need your shaker tins. Every measure is going to be the same. It's really simple. It's 22.5 ml or 3/4 ounce for you Americans or anyone from Liberia and Myanmar/Burma. So first we've got 22.5 ml or 3/4 ounce of lime juice. Next up we have Luxardo Maraschino, which is made from Marasca cherries. Definitely not sweet, ripe, fresh cherries, but it's delicious for the drink. The bottle, however, is a bit big. To that we're going to add some gin. The original last word actually used Plymouth gin. I've got none in stock at the moment, but I'm going to use a brilliant gin from the Orkney Isles, which is Orkney Atta. This is a really nice gin, really juniper forward. I love all the products from Orkney Gin, and this is no different. So as with everything else in this drink, it's going to be 22.5 ml, 3/4 ounce of your preferred gin. Woo! Last but by no means least is probably my favourite bottle in the collection. Green Chartreuse is phenomenal. It is this alpine, herbaceous, medicinal liqueur which is bottled at 55%, and it's just this green nectar, which I cannot get enough of. 22.5 ml or 3/4 ounce. Ice to your shaker and give that a shake. Strain this into a chilled coupe. To garnish, just pop a maraschino cherry at the bottom of the drink. Woo. There we go. And there you have it, the last word. Oh, okay, that is every bit as good as I've ever remembered the last word being. The chartreuse is so prominent. Every element of this drink comes together so well. It's so bright, it's so fresh. It's a perfect example of the whole being more than the sum of its individual parts. So much has been said about this cocktail already. If you've not made one yet and you can find a bottle of chartreuse somewhere, go and get a bottle and give it a go. It's so good. The last word. A fantastic equal parts cocktail with green chartreuse as the key player. Now we're stepping up a bit with a cocktail made famous in Death & Co. The next cocktail is the Naked and Famous, and it's actually a mesh between the first cocktail today and the one that's coming later on. It was first invented in 2011 and served in Death & Co in New York. This is a really nice cocktail. It follows the same spec as the last word. We're just swapping up a few of the ingredients. For this one, we're not going to be using the green chartreuse, we're going to focus more on the yellow. Instead of the Luxardo Maraschino, we're going to be using Aperol in its place, and the base of gin is actually going to be replaced with a lovely mezcal. This lovely mezcal. Same again, we've got 22.5 ml or 3/4 ounce of lime juice. Follow that up with 22.5 ml or 3/4 ounce of Aperol. Then we have 22.5 ml or 3/4 ounce of your preferred mezcal. Finally, we've got 22.5 ml or 3/4 ounce of yellow chartreuse, which is nearly as medicinal as the green, but it's got such a softer, more mellow flavour. It's honeyed, it's got this real sweetness that the green on the face of it lacks, and it's also bottled at 40% ABV instead. You're still getting a lot of the alpine notes, but yeah, maybe the medicinality is toned down quite a bit. So 22.5 ml or 3/4 ounce of yellow chartreuse. Add ice to your shaker tin and give that a shake. Strain that into a chilled coupe. So there you have it, the Naked and Famous. The mezcal comes through so strongly, but it's tamed. For me, the hardest part of using mezcal, especially in 30, 45 or 60 ml measures, is trying to tame how vegetal and smoky it actually is. Some of the nicest mezcals can just stink and they're just so strong, they're so intense. But when used well, they're so nice, they're just lovely in a cocktail. There's a few bottles I've got that are absolute filth. They are just so intense, they're so cheesy and vinegary and so, they've just got everything. In this cocktail you take one of the really smoky mezcals and tame it down so that smoke is just an undercurrent through the entire drink. The lime juice is so potent and fresh at lifting everything, and because you've used yellow chartreuse instead of green, this honeyed mellow note and sweetness just runs through the core of the entire drink. Add that finish of the smoke and bitterness with the mezcal and Aperol. You've got an absolute delight of a drink. It's fantastic. The Naked and Famous, what a brilliant drink. So the third and final cocktail we're making today is the Paper Plane. It originated 4 years prior to the Naked and Famous and came from milk and honey. This is an equal parts cocktail that has barely anything to do with the last word. None of the ingredients are the same. For this one, we're going to be using lemon juice instead of lime. We're going to be using Aperol instead of Luxardo Maraschino. Our main spirit is no longer gin, but bourbon whiskey, and the green chartreuse is being removed altogether, but instead a brilliant Amaro in Amaro Nonino. So really easy to make, as with them all. Start off with 22.5 ml of lemon juice. To that we're adding 22.5 ml or 3/4 ounce of Aperol. Next we've got 22.5 ml or 3/4 ounce of your preferred bourbon. And finally we've got 22.5 ml or 3/4 ounce of Amaro Nonino. Add ice to your tins and give it a shake. Strain into a chilled coupe or Nick and Nora. If you want to be fun, garnish it with a little paper plane, go for it. I'm not doing that. So there you have it, the Paper Plane. Wow. This is a perfect example of why on the face of some cocktails it doesn't seem like it should work, but it ties together so perfectly. You have the bourbon giving a little bit of heat, a little bit of sweetness and this richness to the drink and a real depth of flavour. The Amaro Nonino has this aftertaste and it's so subtle, but the bitterness is there. along with the Aperol. But it's not too bitter. It's not overly bitter because the sweetness of the bourbon carries the entire drink. It really shouldn't work. There's not enough sweet in this drink, in my opinion. It shouldn't work the way it does. There's quite a lot of bitter elements. The tart lemon and 2 bitter liqueurs. But it works so well. This is a brilliant drink. It is my favourite of the 3. Although the last word, Naked and Famous, are amazing. A drink that maybe shouldn't work on the face of it, but definitely does. Give this one a try. End the video now, or wait until the outro, and then end the video and go and give this a try. It's worth owning a bottle of Nonino for on its own. What a perfect way to end an episode of Equal Parts Cocktails. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed, feel free to drop a like. If you want to see more, you can always subscribe. And if you want to see daily content from me, head over to Speakeasy UK on Instagram, where I will be posting daily reels similar to this, maybe not similar. And until then, it's been a pleasure. And I will see you all next time on the next episode. Cheers.